We're rolling. Okay, so I already started filming, but then my roommates started being like really loud and because they're like doing stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna restart real quick because I was only like 2 minutes in. But if you hear any background noise, it's them. Excuse my bed. Oh my gosh, today's laundry day, and I still haven't. It's like I'm waiting for all my dryer, like the dryer and washer to finish. Which, by the way, if you hear that, that's what that is. But I'm feeling I was gonna like write, but then I just kind of didn't because I forgot that I hadn't talked to you guys today yet. So I decided I would just do that. So we are here. I have some coffee. Look at this big AF coffee, y'all. I asked for a medium, but they gave me a large. I wasn't gonna say no. But look at how big this thing is. My head is pretty big too. So this is a really big cup of coffee, you guys. Anyways, they call it the broista at Dutch Bros if you've never heard of Dutch Bros, but I was like, they were like, oh, are you gonna get a huckleberry today? Because the other day they made an extra and they were like, does anyone want this? And it's free. I was like, give it to me now. And I drank it. It was really good. And I kind of felt silly today because she was like, oh, are you getting the huckleberry today? And I was like, no, I need something with caffeine in it. But then like as the conversation progressed, I realized that had caffeine in it. So I was like, she probably thinks I'm a dweeb. She's like, what do you mean caffeine? This has caffeine in it. I felt like such a customer, but I'm sure she doesn't mind. But I don't know, I'm just very self-critical. I am, yeah, that's really the basics of today. Y'all, I don't know. This past week has been really all over the place. And now that I'm kind of like beginning to start, like, I'm really excited to talk to you guys. So I want to start with last night. So last night I went to a rave. I've never been to a rave in my entire life, and I never thought I would ever go to a rave. Lo and behold, I went to a rave last night and I had a lot of fun. I didn't do any substances because that's just not my thing, Hold on, let me like move this back. But it's just like not my thing. I don't really I'm sure we've talked about this before, but if you don't know already, addiction runs in my family, or at least, being very obsessive. My dad's an alcoholic, and then my two older brothers really struggle with addiction. I struggle with addiction. Like I really compulsively shop. I compulsively do a lot of things and I just can't stop sometimes. But, I just feel like I would literally rather be in credit card debt than be like neck deep into an alcohol addiction. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, sorry, I got a text. But yeah, so addiction runs in the family, so I just refuse to ever try drugs because of that or anything of the sorts. However, this is gonna sound crazy, you guys, but when I was at the rave and I was having fun, I was like, I understand why people do drugs for these things, okay? I understand. I wouldn't actually do it. I don't understand actually going through with it, but I do understand the appeal. I do understand why these people think that it's a good idea in this particular scenario. But I just feel like it's one of those things where it's a good thing for a little bit and then it starts to turn into a bad thing really fast and you don't even realize when it turns into a bad thing. I don't know, none of my business. Excuse me. And it was just really fun. And you guys, I felt really magnetic last night. I was kind of like drawing people in, like, and they were all dudes, which I thought was very crazy because, I thought I would attract women more easily, but it was dudes and they were all like one dude and we were like this with each other, like he was right here, he had his arm around me and we were like jumping up and down and yelling. And then like another guy, he was trying, okay, y'all, because tell me why. He was like, is this your first rave? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and then later on when I was dancing, I could see from the corner of my eye, he was like looking at me, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 20. He said 21. And I was like, yeah, how old are you? He was like, I'm 18. I was like, what is going on, Because I'm sorry, like, asking how old are you is like the craziest question to me when it comes to like, like settings in that, bars, clubs, raves. I feel like asking someone how old they are is the equivalent of saying you trying to hook up. And, he's literally a child. I don't care if he's 18. That's still, I was, no. And, he didn't make any moves on me or he didn't advance on me or anything like that. But I just thought it's an interesting little anecdote. And I like to fill in the blanks of what I thought his intentions were because I think it's funny. And I don't know, y'all. And like a lot of people were like coming around me and we were all like, everyone, I felt like the main character. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of acting like the main character because the whole time I was like, I spent money to be here. And quite frank, and in my mind, I was celebrating. I was celebrating my job at the post office. I was celebrating because my friend drove on the freeway there. And like she's just learning how to drive on the freeway and stuff. So in my mind I was like, yeah, like to the post office, to driving on the freeway. So I was really turning up. One thing I will say is I do see myself going back to a rave one day, but if I did, I'd probably wear earplugs because it was so loud. Literally my ears low-key were still ringing this morning, so damaging. And I was kind of concerned. I was like, dude, I don't know how people go to concerts or raves or anywhere else that plays loud music frequently and they don't wear earplugs or something, because I just feel like it's one of those things where it can really hurt you, because it hurt y'all. Like you kind of adjust to it when the music keeps playing, but then there's a certain, when you leave, it's like you're deaf. Like you can't hear. Everything sounds muffled. It's kind of concerning, but I would never, I would wear earplugs next time. And then, yeah, it was a really fun experience and I really liked it. And I definitely understand the hype of raves now. Um, I think it's interesting because I thought I would like meet somebody there, but truth be told, you guys, I probably wouldn't want to date someone that frequents raves. I feel like for me, like a person that I settle down with romantically or anything like that, I would probably want someone that likes to stay in or somebody who's a little bit more quiet, because like they met you through a rave where you think they gonna meet other people, you know what I'm saying? Anyways. I also feel like people like that want you to frequent raves or they want you to go all the time. Don't get me wrong, I had fun, but I probably wouldn't go every other week like that. I just feel like that's not good for you. And I don't know. I'm saying that, but I feel like that would end up being me, I don't know, you guys. I feel like every time I make fun of something, I become that thing. I'm like, who would spend all that money on jewelry? Now who would move to California? Who would live in California? Now I'm in California. But strangely enough, I almost wonder if making fun of something would be like the perfect way to manifest it. But yeah, I deleted Instagram, as you guys know, but I downloaded Snapchat again, which I thought was very interesting. I also downloaded a dating app because my friend, she was like, should I get this? Should I get Hinge? And I was like, girl, no, you told me no. And then by the end of it, I was like, if you get it, I'm gonna get it. So I got it. But I'm probably gonna, actually, I don't know. I probably will just try to not get addicted to it. If I find myself getting addicted to it, then I'll delete it. But And another story that I really wanted to tell you guys is, or not story, but kind of revelation. So, as you guys know, I've been working on my attachment style, or I've been trying to exhibit healthier traits and practice healthier habits when it comes to my attachment style. I don't see anything inherently wrong with my attachment style. I just feel like it's one of those things where it's like someone needs to get to know me and like, it's not my fault I am this way. But for the sake of my own comfort and sanity, I just think that it would be optimal for me to work on it so that that way I can live an easier life when it comes to my relationships. And one thing that I picked up on, and I saw it in a video, they were like, so imagine I'm on a new date and then I talk about my ex. I'm like, yeah, my ex was terrible. Like they sucked. Like it was really bad. Like they were a terrible person, And I remember the video was like, oh, this looks like insecure attachment, or it looks like, it's not a secure attachment style because you're tearing this other person down to make yourself look better and stuff like that. Even though that's the scenario, I just feel like that's one of the things that I've been very conscious of, because I feel like even though my past connections that have been severed were not that great, and I feel like the gist of it is that we were just incompatible and that it just naturally brought very toxic sides of each other out. And I just think that it takes two to truly destroy a relationship, or it takes two to truly kind of like cut a relationship off, you know? So in that sense, I feel like I'm trying to take more accountability for my relationships and my past connections that I no longer am in. And this also comes with wanting to tie up loose ends, honestly. So I'm sure you guys remember that one guy, that one with the compassion fatigue, and he was like out here, you know, that I will dog on him because he brought me into his life and then he expected me to conform to all of his terms and conditions. No. Okay, that is different. That is different in my eyes. There's one thing between us being incompatible and you just being a jerk. Okay, that was jerky of him. Like that was that was very rude, okay? Anyways, cuz he that's besides the point. I feel like I'm contradicting myself. So, there is this one guy that I had this little fling with back in 2022. This was like a peak of my dating app era. I remember I was really into dating apps at this time. I had like all of them. I had Facebook dating, you guys. I had Facebook dating. I had Tinder. I didn't have Bumble. I didn't like Bumble. And I also had Hinge. I think Tinder's the best one though. Tinder be going strong, okay? Tinder started it all. Anyways, so there's this guy that I talked to, and we had like literally a week long fling. And I just remember he told me he loved me like 3 days into our situation. And that really scared me. Okay, guys, this is when I didn't realize I was healing from a lot of things and I was really hurt and stuff like that. And then afterwards, it just kind of ended it really bad. We got into this argument and then I blocked him and stuff. And then the other week, I was just kind of thinking, because I'm not gonna lie, you guys, this guy that I've been geeking about and, you know, saying that I like, I really don't know what the scenario is with him. I can't tell what it's gonna be. And, you know, obviously not to like get in my own head about things or try to like jump to conclusions or like try to expedite the process, you know? But I still can't help think about what is to become of this connection and what is going on. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of like me, if I could wander or kind of like wonder about the subject for a little bit. And wonder did I did wonder, because I started thinking about it and I thought, you know what, I really feel like even if this isn't, because I started thinking about this guy that I talked to 2 years ago, and in my head I was like, I feel like this is just something that I really want to patch up, and I feel like this is something that I really want to apologize for and take accountability for, because it's just not something that I'm proud of, you know. And for a really long time I feel like I really bit my tongue about it and kind of, you know, relied on my pride and my ego to kind of crutch the situation. But honestly, I'm just kind of realizing that I really want to be the best possible version of myself, at least right now, and I want to do better and I really want to make up for things that I've done. So I reached out to him on Instagram. I like re-downloaded it just to text him. So I re-downloaded it and I was talking to him and I was like, you know, I said his name and I told him, I was like, I'm really sorry about how I treated you all that long ago and stuff like that. And I just wanted you to know, like, you don't have to accept my apology or anything like that. But I do want you to know that I feel bad. And the reason it's taken me so long is because I just was really prideful about it for a really long time. And I feel kind of glad because I would rather apologize to you more genuinely and when I mean it than, you know, like just saying it just to say it, you know? And he accepted it and he was telling me, you know, I'm really sorry too because I know that I was a lot at the time. I'm not perfect and stuff like that. And we just kind of mutually agreed that neither of us were very much in a good headspace when we met, and we both kind of took it out on each other. And looking, you know, I just really appreciated his perspective, and I really like that he took the initiative to do better and to heal. And he looks a lot better now, you guys. I was talking to him and he like lost a bunch of weight and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like I feel like this was kind of like a motivator for both of us, you know. I feel like we're both better people. I don't really expect anything out of connection. I just told him, you know, we can just be friends and stuff like that. So now we're friends and whatnot. And it feels good to have a bunch of guy friends right now, if I'm gonna be honest, because I feel like I'm kind of repairing that part of myself because, you know, when I was little, I was exclusively friends of guys, and then my brothers would like be all weird about it. And it's like I was literally 4. I don't understand sexuality. So I feel like I'm just doing better in that regard. And it's just kind of one of those things that I feel like liking this guy and realizing that I'm not perfect and that there are still things that I want to change about myself and work on and kind of patch up. I was like, I really want to do this, even if it's not for like this connection, you know, even if this doesn't go anywhere, I still just want to have a clean slate and I really want to wrap things up, especially because this March is going to be the official 1 year anniversary of me breaking up with my ex. And you know, for a really long time, I used to dog on my ex and I'd be like, you know, like he sucked and stuff like that. But truth be told, he really did just genuinely make some really bad mistakes. And I can tell that he's still learning and growing too. And it's just obvious that we're just not compatible, I feel. And I feel like there's just something that we were both not seeing in the connection. And truth be told, I feel like we really would have lost ourselves trying to see that. And I kind of just want to move on from that. And I kind of just want to leave it at that and finally just lay this to rest, you know, because I know that I deserve love and I know I deserve good things. And I feel like in order to do that, I need to clean out a lot of this clutter. And it feels very good saying this. And the reason that I have been kind of pondering about this is because, as you guys know, this past December, I'm about to go on a full blown, like, not rant, but kind of like, so I know I mentioned this to you guys, but I wanted to bring it up again. My brother, literally, he basically admitted to me that he felt bad about how he treated me when I was younger, this past Christmas. And when we were talking about it, I kind of, I don't even know how to describe how it made me feel. Just because when I was little and for a really long time, I've just felt so much resentment and so much anger and heartbreak because of my brother, because he just made my life so insufferable. And pardon me if I get emotional about this. Like, this is like such. I realize no matter how many times I try to talk about this, I will always get emotional because it's just like it hurts. And I mentioned this a little bit on my latest video on Witch Obsession, but you know, for a really long time when I was little, I was afraid of my brother. You know, I didn't want to be home with him. I didn't want to be anywhere near him. I wanted him gone. Sometimes I even hated him if I'm going to be honest. And I just never felt like he was there for me and never felt like he wanted me to be there and he wanted like me around, you know. He just made me like my whole family honestly, but he like made me feel so scared and just really upset, you know, and it like really destroyed my relationship with him and men in general because you know my brothers were the main examples of men that I for me growing up. And what they taught me is that men are judgmental, they're mean, they don't care about you and everything has to be about them and you need to be afraid because if you mess up then they will explode and hurt you or you know do things and say things that they will never take responsibility for. So for a really long time I just grew up and like became like this really defensive person towards men. You know, like I feel like a lot of the times when I first met men, all I do is bully them, I'm mean to them, I'm abrasive. And it's not really because I actually don't like them, but more so it's because I feel like if I don't come off that way or if I don't, you know, come off as abrasive and unapproachable and stuff like that, then they might try to hurt me or they might try to take something from me or you know what I'm saying, or try to take advantage of me or make me feel unworthy, you know? And I'm sure like my point in bringing all this up is that like my brother really left a lot of scars on me, you know, and he really hurt me. But and when I first moved to California, I had like this huge fight with my other brother. And then my oldest brother, which is the one that I'm talking about right now, he like sided with him and they both just like were talking to me. They were like, "You're so selfish, like, you know, like you don't get the vibe," and you know, basically like that. Because the move to California is a whole other story, you guys. And you know, I remember I really went off on my oldest brother. I really told him, I was like, stop, because you used to be such an abusive jerk to me growing up, and like you treated me so bad and stuff like that, you know, blah, blah, blah. Basically, just kind of laying out the foundation and basically telling him the tea. You know, I was like, this is what you put me through. So don't even, you know. And at first, he became very defensive about it. But this past December when he told me how he felt, it's very obvious to me that he did a lot of introspection and that he did in fact ponder about how he made me feel, and he like took accountability for that. And like that brought me so much hope and so much like excitement and belief in what that men can be like good people and that they can be people I want to be friends with. And I don't know, you guys. Because truthfully, it felt like my inner child got a lot of justice from that. And I feel like in some very crucial moments, I became the person I wish was around when I was a little kid. And it paid off. And the fact that my brother like actually took accountability and chose to become a better person and to also to treat me better, I was like, this is the baseline for what I want in all of my relationships. Men, women, everything alike, everything in between, everything outside of that. I don't care, you know. And it just really, it was something that was on my mind the past week, and I realized that I want to be like that, you know. I want to take accountability for my actions. I want to do better, and I want to be a better version of myself by making amends with the past and healing. And I saw this in a comment when I was watching an Adele Mute 30 reaction video. I absolutely cannot take comment for this, but they said this album is about emerging through the fire, not unscathed, but with self-forgiveness and stuff like that as a bomb, or self-acceptance. And I've realized that self-acceptance is going to be one of my biggest weapons this year. I say weapons kind of like metaphorically because I'm not trying to hurt anyone with it, but more so to fight off a lot of the things that have caused me suffering and guilt. And oh, I had a list of things I wanted to talk about. Let me go get it. It's like right over here. Yeah, I have it. I can't show you it because I have a name on here, but it's just a few things. But guilt is definitely one of the main things I wanted to talk about, because I feel like for me lately, releasing guilt has been a lot about being very shameless about things in my life and taking accountability for my actions, whether or not people perceive them as good. And I feel like jewelry is a big example because I feel like I have spent a lot of money on jewelry and have just spent money when I don't need to be spending money. Okay, that's just the way we're gonna put it. But truth be told, I feel like it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, if you're gonna make a mistake or do something that's going to get you into trouble, you may as well do it confidently. So I just feel like it's just one of many things, you know. It's one of many examples, you know, like going out, driving, you know, doing all these things, you know, like whatever it may be. I just feel like if you're gonna be guilty about something, then don't do it at all, because the whole point of you doing something is for you to enjoy it and for you to have fun and for you to just, you know, make the most of the moment. So if you're gonna feel bad about it the whole time, then don't even do it, because it's just kind of like that destroys the point of what you're doing, you know. At least that's what I've been saying to myself. I'm not saying like that as like a general thing for everyone, but it's just one of those things that I've been thinking about. And I do recognize that I'm very lucky to be in the position that I am, and I will never not be grateful for the privileged life I've lived and how things have worked out for me. And I wanted to talk about this because there was this one day, and I forgot about it until I just randomly thought about it the other day. And it was like maybe a few months ago actually. My roommates were asking me about my car. They were like, oh, like, what do you do right now, you know, like. And I was like, oh, I'm not working right now. They're like, and I told them my parents are supporting me at the moment. They're like, shoo, you're lucky and stuff like that. And I was telling them, yeah. And they were like, so how much is your car, or like what are the car payments like? And you know, I just didn't want to disclose that information. And you know, like I don't want to like put it on blast here either, because it's just, it's one of those things where it's not my business to disclose, you know? And I told them, I was like, no, like, it's just not my business to tell. And I don't want to, you know, like flaunt it or anything like that, because a car is a car and I'm very grateful to have it. And they were like, shoot, if my parents were paying for my car, I would be out here like, yeah, my parents bought this. And I was like, well, not everyone's as fortunate to have a car. So I just don't think that it's very appropriate to be out here, you know, like flaunting it, you know, because I do recognize that having a car right now is very lucky and very privileged, and just kind of like you're better off, you know? And I don't know, you guys, I just don't like, cuz I feel like I have lived an easier life, you know, at least financially. And but at the same time, I don't want that to be something that invalidates the challenges that have come with this life, you know, in regards to moving here, having to figure myself out, learn about myself, and face parts of myself that I never thought you like never even knew existed, you know. And I just don't like the feeling that just because I've had it good financially means that it could possibly invalidate those experiences. I know it doesn't, because the way I felt is the way I felt, point blank, period. But, you know, I never want to talk about what I've gone through, because I just hate to think that somebody would be like, well, like, you didn't have to like struggle that much. So it's like, you know, like, you're whatever, you know? And it's not even like that, you know? And I don't know, you guys. It's just been something that's been weighing on me. And it's just something that I don't like that feeling. And I'm sure you guys know what I mean. And I'm sure you guys are going to be like, no, like that's not how it works. But I can't help but feel that way, because I do understand that I don't know what it's like to go hungry. I don't know what it's like to not have like nicer things and stuff like that. But truth be told, I feel like, you know, it's just the grass is never greener on the other side. You know, you know, as a kid, of course I wasn't like I never went hungry, but at the same time, I had no one to eat that food with, you know? And I wish, there's a lot of things I wish about my childhood, but ultimately, I feel like I would never tamper with the past, because it is the reason that I am the way that I am, and I like the way that I am. But that doesn't mean that any of those pains that I went through are things that I wish I didn't have to go through if I had a choice in regards to what I am nowadays. You know, like if I could change something about my past and it not affect who I am now, I would absolutely do it. But I just, I'm so grateful for this job. Okay. Like I said, I start orientation tomorrow, the 26th. I thought it was going to be last week, and I'm kind of glad it wasn't, if I'm going to be honest, because last week was all over the place. So I start orientation tomorrow. I'm probably going to call my friend after I stop filming this with you guys. And then I need to pack a bag, because I'm going to go to my friend's place and I'm going to stay there a few days at a time. And I'm just so grateful for her, because you know, we were talking the other night, and it's not my business to tell you guys all of our business, obviously, but long story short, we've gone through a lot of similar things, and the fact that she says a lot of the time that she wants to help me because she's been through what I've been through, it just, I'm really grateful for her. And I hope that you guys, if you are okay with it, will help me send good intentions towards her, because she is also in the midst of breaking a lot of generational curses and learning about the most intimate parts of herself. And I just think that she's such an amazing person, and I feel like she's taken a lot of leaps of faith and things to change her life. And I'm really proud of her, because truth be told, I would never want my friends to suffer through the things that I have gone through moving to California alone. But at the same time, the revelations that you have from taking such a risk are so liberating and so freeing, and kind of like, just like, it like softens you. I don't know. And I would never wish them that pain, but I do wish them those revelations and self-acceptance and happiness. And I just hope that one day they can have that. And I feel like I inspire people around me to take risks. I don't know, like I feel like every time I meet people, like change their lives, you know, and they change mine, you know. Maybe it's that Scorpio 12th house stellium, but you know, I love my friends, and it would hurt me more to see them live a life of suffering, of comfortable suffering, than to suffer for a life of comfort, if that makes sense. I don't know. And I'm just really excited to get this show on the road because I can tell that even though this is going to be a lot and it's going to be really hectic, I can tell that it's going to be something that brings me a lot of excitement, a lot of newness, and more experiences and some more emotional novelty, and maybe even shine some light on other parts of myself that I haven't been able to tend to because I can't see it. And I don't know, you guys, I really want to be a better person and I really want to strive to be even better because I know I have flaws and I know there are things about myself that I just want to change. Not that I feel like I'm a bad person, but I feel like saying like, "Oh, I'm a good person. I don't have to do any more work." You know, it's just that's not acceptable in my eyes and I feel like that just will create stagnancy. Anyways, I also wanted to talk about Post Malone, you guys. Oh my gosh, I don't even know why I wrote this down. I'm gonna cover up the part, but I literally just wrote Post Malone down. What does this mean? Yeah, I think what it means is that every time I be listening to Post Malone, I think of this guy that I like because the one that I've been geeking about because he really likes Post Malone. And they're both Virgo Moon and Rising, like literally both of them. And I think it's interesting because I was talking to my friend about it and I was like, they kind of look alike. You know, when you look at Post Malone and you look at Virgo Risings in general, they all kind of look the same. Like they have like a very round face and they have like very prominent cheekbones. They have very like shiny, innocent eyes. And they usually have like very like long lips, you know? I wouldn't say they have thin lips. Some of them do, but in my case, this guy has like bigger lips, you know? But I just thought it was very interesting. And I think it's interesting how like the rising signs, you can kind of tell like what they are from their appearance. Like for example, I'm a Sagittarius rising, and apparently Sagittarius risings have like very nice hands. They have like are very handsome, you know, like with sharp jawline. And I have like huge hips, you guys. For what a skinny legend I am, I have some really big hips and then like a small waist. And then I have stretch marks all over. This might be TMI, but it's all over my behind and on my thighs. I have stretch marks all over the place. And those are the only places that I have stretch marks, which I think is very interesting. I didn't even know I had stretch marks until like high school, and I was like looking at these, and I was like, "What are these lines on my thighs?" And then one day I read video, like I saw a video, and I was like, "These are stretch marks," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's what they are." But yeah, I think that's the gist of what I wanted to talk about. Honestly, it's just, oh, and I also wanted to tell you guys about this really weird dream I had last night. So I had this dream that I was on a cruise, and this was right after the rave, by the way, and I was talking to this, I was fishing for some reason and then I messed up the fishing and the whole what's it called, fishing rod went into the water, and then this really hot guy that was right there called me the F slur and he started making fun of me. And then I told him, I don't know what I told. I think I was like, well, at least I tried. What did you do? Not try, you know? And then I walked away. But as I was walking away, he like slashed. I don't know what hit me, but like something like slashed to me right here, like cut me. It didn't cut my skin, but it hurt, you know? And it cut my hoodie and it cut my bag, my Lululemon bag. And the hoodie I had literally just bought like the other day, like the day before yesterday, so on the 24th at the mall. I got this super cute hoodie. I can't show you guys because it's in the dryer right now, but it was really cute. Okay, I'll show you next time, or I'll probably wear it in next week's video if I can. But I don't know, I looked it up and apparently it's a sign of like vulnerability, or that you feel very vulnerable or you feel very susceptible, you know? I thought that was interesting because the guy, like, you know, I thought he was very attractive in the dream at least. I don't know what he would look like now, but you know. I just thought that was an interesting little thought because I feel like I've been having a lot of vivid dreams lately, and I think it's because of all the Pisces stuff we have. Whew. All this Pisces things going on. Um Anyways, I also wanted to blabber about this jewelry a little bit. I like geeking about the jewelry now that I feel like more comfortable. But okay, let me get the piece that I got recently. So I have two more pieces coming in because she did a promo on these bracelets, and I got my friend and I matching bracelets, and I also low-key got it as like a celebration thing because I'm like gonna start working at the post office and whatnot. And yeah, so these bracelets, which by the way, I'm obsessed with this. This just, to me, it looks so cool and like expensive. I love it. So these two bracelets she did in like the Chinese New Year promo. So I got these two. And then I got these earrings. This is, she calls them her diet soda earrings. I really like them. And then over here I have like the gold one because I like the mismatch vibe. And then I also got this, which is called her bankroll. I got it in the short necklace. My neck's pretty thick. I got this in the 16.5, and this goes like right around my neck. Like really, like where these necklaces are sitting is where it sits. Typically, if you get it longer, you can like wear it like this, you know, and it has like a little lariat tail, as she calls it. But I can't do that with this necklace because it's, you know, I got it short because I kind of liked it more as a short necklace, excuse me, than as like a longer necklace. I don't know why. I just did. I just don't think it looks as good as a lariat on me. I'm sure it will look good on other people, but not on me. No. But yeah, I really like this stack because I feel like this is like very classy, but then I feel like this kind of gives it like a punky vibe because I've just been like really into the punky skater kind of a city aesthetic because it just, I feel like it looks good on me, you know. I feel like it looks good on me when I dress very like effortlessly, but then I like put on all these like accessories. I feel like it just looks really cute on me, and it looks kind of like, it looks masculine but also feminine. I don't know, it's kind of my thing. I also wanted to talk, if you guys hear background noise, pardon me, it's just like my roommates and stuff like that. It's just been like really distracting. And like my neighbors have been causing so much ruckus because they're like moving in, you know? They already like moved in all their stuff. They're fast. They're like trying to live here, you know? But I've also been playing a lot of Overwatch, and I have been listening to some new songs. Oh, I should have wrote them down. But one of them is like a Spanish song. It's called like Si mi no Queso, something like that. I don't know who it's by, but it's like this, like it sounds like a Mexican like party song. And then I've been obviously listening to Test Drive by Ariana. And then there's this one song my friend showed me. It's called Homemade Dynamite, and it's by Lord, but it's a remix with Post Malone, SZA, and Khalid. Oh my gosh, it is so good. I was like listening to that on repeat and playing this new game mode on Overwatch. I was so gone. I was floored, you guys. I could not believe how immaculate the vibes are. And just generally speaking, I've just been feeling really confident because I'm really excited to start this job and get my financial situation back on track, because I feel like my financial situation has been the bulk of my concern for like the past few months now, as you all know. And I also wanted to say thank you so much to you guys for the congrats that you guys have been giving me. I really do feel like you guys send me like good vibes, or you guys send me like your best wishes, and I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate all of those of you that like sit down and allow me this space to talk and whatnot. And it's just like, I don't know, not to sound corny about it, but I really do, you know, these videos go for a while, you know, and there's like a million other things you could do with all your precious time, but you choose to spend it with me, and to me that's just very like meaningful. Anyways, um, I feel like that's really it for this week. I always forget something, but I really do feel like that was like the bulk of what I wanted to talk about. Uh, yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. I really feel like I have nothing. I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget, because I always do, and then I'm like, oh, I'll tell them next week, and then I forget again, and it's just like it never gets said. I really think that's it. I really think that's it. Okay. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.